so long is like alchemy.
Warriors-Hawks Friday night, usual suspects. Now, who are the Atlanta Hawks? Most of you know who Dennis Schroeder is and are familiar with Kent Bazemore, but it's the rookie John Collins out of Wake Forest and second-year player Taurean Prince, who are really the hope of the future for this Hawks franchise at this point. Now watch JaVale. He's got to tilt his hips. See how flat he is on this quick guard? He's got to tilt his hips so he has somewhat of a chance when he breaks him down. Instead, you see him have to turn his hips late, and he has no chance at that. But Schroeder, on the other end, he's one of the quicker guards in the league, and guys that are that quick tend to have bad tendencies because they get away with so much, right? They formulate bad habits. Schroeder, no different on the defensive end, but I love the early pulley from Steph. He doesn't knock it down. But I've mentioned this in the previous games on this road trip. I like Steph to look for his shot early on. It helps the whole team. Taurean Prince with the green light from downtown. I wasn't aware of it, and apparently Kevin Durant wasn't either because he pulled 3 of them in his face early in this game. The Baylor product, he only shoots 37%. And here's JaVale coming from the weak side and getting one of these, usually in each first quarter, but it was really a tale of two halves for JaVale. I thought his opening minutes were decent. Now, this eye test play to me, just the lackadaisicalness of the finish, and it was one of those like uh-oh plays. It was where I was like, they're kind of coasting here. And here's the rookie in the corner with his 7th 3 of his career. And you got to be careful with that if you're Atlanta because he's such a good athlete. Ideally, you want him in the paint. And here's a pinpoint lob from Draymond. He'd been throwing him high the whole road trip. Here's a little Draymond segment. This is a new alchemy rule. The bully turnover from Draymond. Look at him just bum rush Prince. And why do you think Prince turned that ball over? Because it's just the simple intimidation factor of Draymond Green and his reputation. And he gets a couple of them a week. You see Draymond, no interest in shooting that. There's the rip through call on Steph. This is the same possession. Now Draymond's like, all right, I guess I will shoot the ball. And you see the defender daring him. So he's got to do something with that play, whether it's shoot it or drive hard and open up something for someone else. He can't hesitate there. KD had seen enough of Taurean Prince, finally blocks his jump shot, realizing how aggressive he is offensively with this Hawks team. I wasn't a big fan of Durant's first half. Look at that pass. That's just absolute trash. We know Atlanta has a very aggressive nightlife for a bachelor like Kevin Durant. I'm just saying. He ended up having a fine game, but that first half he was very disengaged. Kent Bazemore did a great job face guarding Clay. That was his first shot attempt in the game with 6:30 in the first quarter. One thing I will say, just like Iguodala, Durant's breaking out the dunks now. First half of the season, right, there was a lot of soft finishes at the rim. Now you can see him getting a little more aggressive, a little more ferocious at the rim, and I love it as a basketball fan. You always like to see dunks, right? Look at JaVale switch out here. He's still flat, but shows good hands. So I thought, like I said, I thought his first half stint was decent. He protected the rim well. This Atlanta team is young, though. A lot of athletes and their communication, they're not connected defensively, and Steph took advantage of them with weak side threes early in this game. Now, unfortunately, whenever Zaza gets in the game, if you notice, in the first couple possessions, we give up a dunk. Teams identify right when he gets in the game, and they put him in a pick and roll, and he usually gives up a dunk or a lob on the backside. I don't want to pick on Zaza, but this is just a trend that I've noticed ever since the switch in the lineup. I think maybe when he was starting, teams' priorities are different to start a game, right? But when he comes in throughout a game, teams are like, oh, he's in, let's get him, right? When you start a game, they're more focused on their star players and getting them going rather than specific matchups. And here it is, y'all. We've already talked about it. There's the right ankle roll on Zaza's foot, yes. Goes to the bench, and you can see he's hobbled, and he wears those braces. I don't know how much they protect him. Obviously, there's a ton of elasticity in these ankles after rolling them over and over again. He's going to go to the locker room, right? And I thought he was done for the night. I mentioned this in my first take video. This training staff, Chelsea, they really let these guys go back out. I think they evaluate, can they do more damage or not? Or I think they really take the player's word a lot of the time. Here it is. And there's nothing really, but that's a full pop. That wasn't like a slight where he de-weights. He does a poor job of de-weighting off that ankle. Nick Young de-weights off his leg later in this game, and there's Iguodala, another 3-ball. But Steph, for whatever reason, you'd think he'd be more adept at protecting that ankle after, just doing it so many times. And when he left, Swaggy went absolutely nuts. Just on time. Here's the handoff 3. And I think, as opposed to Stephen Clay, Swaggy doesn't do well covering a lot of ground into a shot. I think he likes the one dribble. Look at him drive and create for someone else. That's the first time I think I've seen him do that in his life. But I think that Nick needs to cover less ground with his shots, not curl and go coast to coast and cross the court before he catches and shoots. He likes a one dribble, and he likes to stay in one proximity pretty much. Here we go. Here's the switch out. There's 3 rotations on this. This second unit, you want to talk about connection. This second unit's defense can be dominant. Here's the heat check. Should have been a 4-point play, right? He ran up under him. He hits it anyway. So Zaza, and then look at Clay. I got to rewind that. Hold on, let's bring this back. A rare dance from Clay in the corner. Look at this. Okay, killer. So with no Sean Livingston, Curry in the locker room, Quinn Cook is in the first half of this game, and I highlight this play because I just like the aggression in transition. When you're a little guy like that, you're limited. You've got to take advantage of your speed. Here's a sloppy home run attempt from Draymond, and it's going to lead to the transition 3 from the lefty. But Quinn Cook, 13 minutes and was aggressive, right? He acted like he belonged. So Steph reappears from the locker room. Watch him almost roll the ankle on JaVale's feet. I was like, this can't be life. Anyway, he's back on the bench. KD, like I had mentioned, his first half was really something to be forgotten. It was just super sloppy. Another turnover leads to another 3, and everybody on this roster appears to have a green light. When you've got this limited of talent in Atlanta, everybody feels like they could possibly be the man, and some nights it works for you. But KD, like I said, sluggish start. Now watch Omri Caspi here. You want to talk about no rhythm? This dude is constipated at the 3-point line. Barely gets it out, and it's completely off. I'm feeling for Caspi, man. He just can't seem to get right or get any meaningful minutes. Look at Steph take his ankles without the ball. Everybody's talking about Harden's ankle breaker. How about taking the ankles without the basketball? Steph reinserted in the game, reinvigorated, ultra aggressive, and right into rhythm. Now this shot right here, this pull-up from Schroeder, that will define his career. If he can hit that on a regular basis, he is a potential star guard with his physical attributes. More Steph Curry. And it didn't seem to matter how they guarded him or where. He was hitting any and everything when he re-entered this game. Now, part of Durant's passiveness, I don't fault, right? Steph Curry was going. Nick Young got going. So he was looking for the hot hand. You see Steph, the curl. And you see what I'm talking about, how Steph covered so much ground on that jump shot? That's not for Nick Young. He's not in that type of shape, and he doesn't get into a good rhythm when he runs that much. He needs to spot up one dribble pulley. Jordan Bell, watch, still not in rhythm, still not in basketball shape, gets roofed. And then it's Bays again, who had 5 or 6 threes on the night, leading to a career high against the team that gave him his start. Now Steph taking a page out of the KD book, the rip through and scoop finish at the rim. He had everything working. And again, the fundamentals of this Atlanta backcourt lacking. They're very athletic, but the discipline and fundamentals aren't there yet. You're going to watch Clay jump this passing lane. And when you talk about a feel for the game, Clay's feel is not, necessarily a great natural feel. He doesn't feel a transition player coming down the court, and Bell really didn't have a chance. But watch him with the closeout of the year, almost armpit blocks that in the corner. But what I mean is, with the ball in his hand, he doesn't have a great feel, a great sense of vision in where guys will be. And then KD, that's just too unselfish. The reason why Steph misses this shot is because he's not expecting the pass. Durant, you're wide open. You can't be over passive, but look at the Energizer Bunny. He was doing everything to close this corner. Watch him slice through the paint, finished with the left hand. And so all was well in Warriors world, right? He comes out and answers the questions, but third quarter, watch, there's a slight limp, and this is where Kerr and Chelsea noticed this and I think decided to pull the plug ultimately on him. Listen to Draymond.
Beating your man.
Deadman.
I absolutely love that type of trash talk. Now, Taurean Prince shot the ball well. Again, not much pressure, ultra green light. Now, watch, JaVale had a terrible turnover here. We didn't cover it. The Hawks team covered it right here in the corner. You see that? Throws it to the other team. Look at Kerr. Immediately call for Zaza. And then McGee picks up the foul. He switched out on the guard. This is tough to ask him to do, but it's a foul. And he heads right to the bench, and you're going to see Kerr talk to him. So, like I said, a tale of 2 halves for JaVale. I thought he started just fine. But can he sustain an awareness level to where he can play meaningful minutes in the playoffs? That will be the key to his success with this team. Second half, KD was like, all right, guys, I'll get mine. If you really want me to, I'll pull up and hit a jumper. And he was ultra efficient. Now watch Steph have to push off that right foot. You see how he turned? He didn't get the right amount of energy generated off that right foot. And Bazemore, I think, knew it, and to his credit, was attacking right. The lefty was attacking right on Steph every time, knowing he doesn't want to push off that ankle. So I think the staff took that into consideration as well, just watching how he was moving. It was the right move to shut him down. And Clay with the pump fake? Clay with the pump fake? I see you, boy. KD woke up and stumbled into a 12 of 19 shooting performance for 28 points. Like I said, the effort, I don't even know if he was at 50%, at least through that first half. There's Quinn Cook challenging the three, fighting over the screen, not fouling. So I thought he gave us some nice minutes and did the things you would expect, the little things and the energy that you would expect from a guy trying to make it in the NBA. Here he is pushing. And this is something you got to do. If you're I don't even think he's 6 foot, but when you're that size, you have to be aggressive like that. And then Nick Young almost gets his knee blown out. And this is what I was talking about, de-weighting. Thankfully, Nick Young de-weights off this knee in time. You see how if he would have stayed planted on the ground, that would have been an MCL at the very least. Jordan Bell had some bad turnovers here in the second half. There's one of them that leads to another 3-ball, but he had one on an inbounds baseline play, and he's just out of sorts, and, he's a rookie. How much time has Jordan Bell really spent in an NBA game? Not that much. We've got to remember that. Schroeder, the half-court heave, cuts it to 6 going into the fourth. Now, David West has kind of had a poor road trip. He's been playing so well, but he always makes one play, one stand. Look at him stay in front of Schroeder, and then he's going to come down here and deliver a Debo shoulder for a little jump hook. But I don't know if it's been the matchups, the cold weather, or what on the old man, but this short road trip hasn't treated D. West too well. Now here's a little alchemy coaching moment. Draymond calls this screen out too late, and Nick Young truly pays the cost with the wall of a screen that lays him out. Now, when you're playing pickup ball and someone says call out the screens, if you call out a screen as it's occurring, that's too late. You don't have time to adjust for it. Draymond usually doesn't do that, but Nick, one dribble, pulley, and because he uses so much legs in his jump shot, that's why I hypothesized that he doesn't like to run around and catch and shoot. Draymond, you got to shoot that. You got to drive that. You got to do something with that. And I know he's been scoring in double digits, but they've been mostly dunks and drives to the basket. Out on the perimeter, he's been very tentative and poor, and then megged. Iguodala falls into a meg. Is it megged, negged, nutted? You know the soccer term. Poll question, who has better hands, Iguodala or David West? There's the ninja swipe, and then I love the finish. No more of those scared LeBron layups. He's been dunking everything. The lob to their rookie, John Collins, that's a nice finesse finish. I don't know about the 6-inch shorts above the knees, but the rookie, very athletic. Now let's hold it here. Draymond, take a look at the floor. Teams are starting to not guard him, so he's going to have to refine his aggression on this end and keep these teams honest. And it was so many of these turnovers in the fourth quarter that led to 3-balls and is what really allowed Atlanta to climb back into this game and threaten the champs. And then I don't know what's gotten into this man. All of a sudden, not only is he dunking, he's hitting the offensive glass, and he's completely woke. Here's another sloppy turnover. And what do you think the results are going to be? Another 3-ball. This time it's Taurean Prince right at the line, and that's a warm-up J. With their mind probably on getting back home, right? Their flight back home and what they're going to do, what they're going to eat, who they're going to see when they get back home. They just were completely disengaged to end this game. They foul a 3-point shooter off another turnover. Plenty of time to communicate. They don't, and they foul another 3-point shooter in the corner. And I'm not going to lie to you, I kind of wanted them to lose the game. Like, it was such a poor end to this that I kind of low-key wanted them to lose. Very close game, almost turned this one over. That's a suspect inbounds play. I'm not quite sure what Kerr was drawing up there. Here's the close.
You're up 3, so worst case scenario, not to give up a 3. So you just pressure them up, you get beat, 2 won't kill you. So you can be a little bit aggressive in those situations.
Andre, remember, hit a game winner 2 seasons ago in Atlanta. Look at this. Nick's like, we almost lost that shit. That was crazy. Draymond's like, it ain't funny, though. Look, it ain't funny. We did almost lose. Nick's like, come on, man, we won. He's like, shut the hell up. Nah, but I looked for a play to see why Draymond was upset with Nick. I just think it was Nick Young not taking a near loss serious enough for Draymond. KD hands the jersey to Quavo and then turns Kareth Burke on. I'm messing with y'all. I'm out.